Hello, Keller Williams Integrity First. This is Greg Kennicott, your Director of Technology, here with a quick how-to video on how to add the Office printers onto your macOS device. Windows users, you have a separate video. Please go check that one out if you need some help. Mac users, stick with me and we'll get through this quickly. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go to our old pal Google and do a search for Canon C5250 drivers. These are the devices we use in the office, and the drivers are necessary for communication between the computer and the printer. The very first option should be Image Runner Advanced C5250 Canon USA. If it is not, look down this page until you find it and give it a click. The new page will load to the Canon website. We'll click the gray Drivers and Downloads button, which brings us down here to these drivers, UFRII version whatever Mac. We will click Select over on the right, and then the big red download button. When this download begins, it'll pop up this little box telling you where to locate your download. I'm on Chrome, so mine shows up right down here at the bottom of the page. Yours may show up somewhere else, depending on what browser you're using. Either way, once this is done downloading, we will give it a click, and this new window will pop up. The highlighted file here should end in .dmg. If it does, you are good to go ahead with the next step. If not, find this file that ends in .dmg and we'll give it a double click. Once that opens up, we will then double click this installer right here, the little box, and we will go into the actual installation. If this warning pops up that this version of the operating system is not supported, go ahead and ignore it and click OK. I've seen this a few times now. It's new with Monterey, but it doesn't seem to affect anything. We will click Continue. We'll click Continue to agree to all of the stuff, and then we will explicitly agree to all of the stuff, and we will then click Install. Enter in your password or scan your finger, depending on how your biometrics are set up, and then we begin the actual driver installation. This part can take a few minutes, so using the magic of technology, I am going to meet you back. Welcome back. We have added in everything that we need to add, so we will go ahead and we will close this window. Go ahead and click Move to Trash, and that will automatically get rid of that .dmg file just to keep your downloads tidy. All right, once we're done there, we can close out of that. We'll come up to the little Apple icon in the upper left and choose System Preferences. This is where we will actually add the printers in. Once System Preferences open, find Printers and Scanners down here toward the bottom and give it a click. From there, we will click the little plus icon over here on the side, and when this new window pops up, we choose on the top toolbar this center option. This will allow us to add in a printer via IP address. These numbers will be down in the description of this video, but for our purposes here, we will add first the Mailroom Printer 192.168.1.27. Make sure that you have all of these numbers and you have the dots in the appropriate places, otherwise the printer will not add. Make sure that your protocol on the next line is LPD, Line Printer Daemon, otherwise, again, it will not work, and then leave your Q line blank. On the bottom here, we can rename this printer. We're going to call it Mailroom Printer. Of course, it is your computer, it is your environment, name it whatever is going to make sense to you. The very last option here is called Use. These are the drivers that the computer will use to communicate with the device. The reason we installed drivers earlier is because this generic PostScript one does not work. So we will click this little drop down and choose Select Software, which will open up this printer software screen. We are then going to type in C5250 into this filter line, which will bring up the drivers that we need. We will click, we will say OK, and then we will click Add. It will take a moment, and there you go, your Mailroom Printer. Now, very important on Macs, and we'll cover this in the next episode, will be adding in your printer code to just go through automatically, so keep an eye out for that. The process is exactly the same for the printer by the training room. The only difference is that instead of a 27, it's a 28. All right, please let me know if you run into any issues or need any help, or if there's anything else that we can do. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll see you for the next one. Thanks so much.